Good evening, warriors of light. Energetic people who are always ready to fight. The 246th day of this fight is coming to an end. We continue our resistance. The aggressor continues his terror. We are again attacked from the sky by a flock of their crows. More than 30 drones were launched in 2 days. The defenders of our sky prevented the enemy's vultures from breaking into the inland and downed 23 Shahids. In addition, the H-59 guided air missile, 2 Ka-52 attack helicopters and another Su-25 attack aircraft were turned into scrap metal. In total, during this period, Russia carried out 4,500 missile strikes and more than 8,000 air raids. But we are fighting, we will shoot down more. I thank the guardians of our sky. I am grateful to everyone who participated in the fundraising for the catchers of such shahids. Only on the U-24 platform those are 665,000 people from 70 countries. Together, we will certainly clip the wings of all metal monsters, no matter how many of them and from where they fly in the direction of Ukraine. Enemy planes will fall. Enemy helicopters will fall. Shahids will fall. It is only the Ukrainian people who will not fall. A heroic people who will definitely go down in world history. Actually, like this day. It is already history. It's already midnight on the clock. October 28th is already on the calendar. Every year on this day, we celebrate the liberation of Ukraine from the Nazi occupiers. We pay tribute to the Ukrainians who fought and defeated Nazism during World War II. Today we do it, holding not flowers in our hands, but weapons. Today, to preserve the memory of the heroic deeds of our ancestors, we need to protect their achievements. We remember the expulsion of the Nazis, approaching the expulsion of the Rashists. Evil, which seemed to have been finally defeated and burned to the ground in 1945, has reborn from the ashes 80 years later. Gets on its feet and becomes real. How could it happen? Imperceptibly. And very quickly. Just as one day comes after another. Instantly. A new day and a new evil are coming instantly. At the very moment when the world does not notice. Some are sleepy, some are fast asleep. Some are not paying attention. Some do not care. And in general, everyone is silent and thinks the same, I will not be affected. The war is somewhere far away. Somewhere in Transnistria. This is the problem of Moldovans. Somewhere in Abkhazia and Ossetia. This is the problem of Georgians. Somewhere in Crimea and Donbass. This is the problem of Ukrainians. We will not be affected. It will not cause damage to us. They will not come for us. Unfortunately, as a result, it becomes everyone's problem. Sooner or later, memories of a terrible war become a terrible reality. The neighbor becomes the aggressor. The aggressor becomes a terrorist. And Nazism becomes an example to follow. It may come back wearing another mask, with new slogans, but with the same goal. Unfortunately, it is not from books that we know about it. We know how evil can break into your house in the last century, 8 years ago and 8 months ago. It breaks the border in the west or comes from the north, east and annexed Crimea. It attacks peaceful cities with bombs or cruise missiles, mines Dnipro hydroelectric plant or seizes Zaporizhia nuclear plant. Drops bombs despite the Red Cross or the writing, children. Steals grain according to the hunger plan or threatens the entire planet with hunger. Abducts and deports people. Abducts and deports children. The form of evil has changed, but the essence has remained unchanged. Evil always begins in the same way. The invaders call themselves liberators. The invasion of their army is called self-defense. As 80 years ago, the Ukrainian people stand up for the defense of their motherland. And the enemy's blitzkrieg plan becomes a failure. Evil always acts in the same way, kills civilians, assuring others that it hits only military targets, sets up blockades and filtration camps, and Syrets becomes Olenivka, destroys cities and villages, and Koryukivka becomes Bucha. But sooner or later war crimes become solved. The reaction of the world becomes painful. The policy of pacification becomes a tough countermeasure. The evil finds itself in a zugzwang. So evil always ends in the same way. The occupier becomes a capitulator. The invader becomes a runaway. War criminals become defendants, aggression becomes a sentence. Destruction becomes reparations. Enemy equipment becomes museum exhibits. The heroic deeds of grandfathers become the victories of grandchildren. The day of the liberation of Ukraine from the Nazis on the 247th day of our struggle becomes a symbol. The result of our struggle definitely becomes the liberation of our Ukraine. The captured territory becomes free. This has always been the case in the past, and will certainly be the case in the future. In the future of Kherson, Donbass, Luhansk, Crimea. Because our land always becomes free. Resistance becomes pride. Struggle becomes victory. And Ukraine becomes united. Today, terror is becoming Russia's only tactics. Defeat is the only possible outcome of such tactics. Terror became a proof of their weakness and a test of our fortitude. We will not be broken by shelling. The enemy's rockets in our sky are less scarier than hearing the enemy's anthem on our land. We are not afraid of the dark. The darkest times for us are not without light, but without freedom. Our warriors are strong, volunteers are tireless, partners are reliable, and people are unbreakable. The Second Army of the world will become smaller and smaller. The losses of the enemy will become bigger and bigger. I am certain that enemy propaganda does not work, provocations do not work, threats do not scare. Any hard winter will not scare us as well. We know that the darkest night comes before dawn. We know that all invaders flee our land in the same way. Gauleiters and self-appointed governors end up the same. Reichskommissariats and quasi-republics die equally. And all our cities will definitely have our flags. Both Junkers and kamikaze drones fall equally. And in our sky there will definitely be our birds, our blue sky, our Maria. Glory to all who fought against Nazism during World War II. Glory to all who are fighting for Ukraine today. Glory to our people who will go down in history. Glory to Ukraine.